Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I guess I'm bringing you another book haul. I don't even know where to begin. Okay, see, what had happened was so I had never been to a library book sale before, and so y'all did not tell me how lit it was. So that's basically what happened. I went to a library book sale. Southeast Library has it like every third Saturday of the month, which is insane. And they basically give you books for $1. Let's just say I had a 20 on me, but I was good and I did not overdo it to where I know I could have done it because I didn't bring a bag, one, which was my own fault. But yeah, if it sounds like I'm a little low, don't worry, it's not your computer, it's not your phone, whatever you happen to be watching this on. It's me. I'm whispering low-key because I'm actually babysitting right now. So yes, that is the dedication I have to you guys and this channel, and trying to make some extra change on the side because let's just face it, grad student, you gotta work a lot of part-time jobs. Okay, but I'm just gonna jump right into it because I don't want this video to be hella long, and I'm not trying to wake the baby up because it took me forever to get him to sleep. So I'm gonna first begin with the books that I guess spent the most on. Okay, never mind, he's good. So basically, that store that I was telling you guys about, the secondhand bookstore, Wall of Books, basically if you bring books in, you get store credit like any used bookstore. So I took some of my older books in, or books that I had DNF'd and weren't really trying to start back up again. So I went in, traded my books in, got some store credit, and a lot of times this happens to me in bookstores. I go in and I get really overwhelmed because I know I got some money and I just don't know what to buy. Meanwhile, if I go in there when I'm broke, I see everything I want to buy. Life. And I got 2 new books. So the first one is really popular, or at least it was at some point when I actually was looking through Amazon and trying to figure out what books I wanted to get to build up my personal library. This is one of the main ones that I had on my list, but when I saw it in the bookstore for only like $5 and it looked damn near new and it was in paperback, I knew that I had to get it. So the book is Fates and Furies by Laura Groff, and they also gave me a little bookmark as well. It's the National Book Award finalist, and basically I think this story is about a husband and wife, I guess, just going through the changes in their marriage. When they got together, of course, they were hopelessly in love and everything was great and peachy keen, and I guess something happened to where it's not like that anymore, and it's sort of going back and forth between their two perspectives. And the cover just like totally just drew me in, and the fact that it's a paperback and it's like new, I knew that I had to get it. The second book was actually a choice inspired by my boyfriend. I know that this was made into a movie, and he actually saw the movie and he said that it was better than what he had expected. So I'm trying to get back into the habit of reading the books first before I watch the movie adaptations for a book. I picked up The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. This has been out for a while. I know some people have already read it. I know he has a couple of other books as well, but it's the national bestseller. And basically, I think the premise of the story is someone goes missing from a wealthy family. An investigator is hired, and the investigator has like a sidekick or a girl with tattoos that sort of helps him figure out the mystery to the disappearance of that person. It seems right up my alley. It's also a paperback, and I love the color and the covers, and it's just very appealing. And what I liked about it is that these 2 books are actually like the same size, so they look really nice, you know, held up together. The spines are really cool. So yes, I got both those books for basically only $10. I'm getting good, y'all. I'm getting good, you know. So the next pile of books that I'm going to get into are actually the ones that I got from the library haul. All these books were $1, so I got 9 books for $9. Walked out with some change in my hands. Courtney, thank goodness, because I honestly thought I was going to spend that entire 20. The first one that I got, I had been wanting to read for a really long time, just because it's very well known. People have read it in high school and college, and they say they loved it. The bestseller, The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Basically, I think the story follows two best friends. I'm not sure. I think it's Afghanistan that they're in. And so it follows two friends. One is wealthier, one's on the poorer side, and then they're dealing with the war that arises within that country. And so, like I said, I love to read diversely and to see different perspectives. I have, I've always been curious about the Middle East and Arab countries and Islam and things like that. So I definitely wanted to be able to read something from their own voices and to see into a perspective like this. It's in really good condition. That's the one thing about me too, is even if it's a used book, I still want to make sure it's in good condition. I don't want to get a book just because of the hype or just because of the acclaim and it be like no front cover, pages missing, rusty dusty. But no, I want to be able to have the book so I can keep it longer, because I know I'm going to beat it up. So I don't want to get it too beat up to where it's just going to disintegrate and fall to the ashes and then I not be able to read it anymore. Yes, that was dramatic, but it is what it is. Another popular one. This one also has a movie adaptation, but I've actually already seen the movie and I thought it was amazing. I don't know who their graphic designer is or who does all those special effects, but the thing was dope. So I got The Life of Pi by Jan Martel, Man Booker Prize winner, $1, paperback, in good condition. Who wouldn't want this book? I haven't really heard too many reviews on it, and I guess it's because it's been out for a while. The next book that I have is also by a well-known author, for $1. Of course, all these books are for $1, so I can probably stop saying that now. It's called Women Hollering Creek by Sandra Cisneros. She is the woman who wrote The House on Mango Street. I know a lot of people read that book in elementary school or middle school. I personally have yet to read that book, which is also still on my list. But when I saw this book by her, and it's a bunch of short stories coming from the perspective of I think it's Mexican American women or Mexican women, from perspectives. I think one is coming from the perspective of a witch, one is coming from the perspective of an 11-year-old girl. So I'm really interested to read this and to really get that perspective as well. As you will see in my books, everything is very diverse, from different cultures or from different voices, and that's just how I roll. So definitely looking forward to picking this up. The next book was sort of a random buy for me. I've really been getting more interested in reading autobiographies. I really enjoyed Asada Shakur's autobiography. It was my top 10, I think, of 2016. And I also really enjoyed the autobiography of Stephen King on writing. I got the 5th anniversary edition of Lady Sings the Blues. This is the autobiography of, I think, Billie Holiday. Yes. I don't know why I blanked on her name, even though I didn't know this was back here till just now. They also included a CD, which has, I think, 10 of her songs, and it has people singing on it, like Babyface and Deborah Cox. And I'm like, hold up, that's me. That's 90s right there. I also noticed that it has some really cool pictures as well on the inside. So for $1, you're getting book, you're getting pictures, and you're getting the CD. Need I say more? The next book that I have, I don't know where I've seen this before. I feel like I've seen it on someone's booktube channel, they called it, and I just remember when I saw it, I remembered the cover, and I was like, I'm gonna just pick it up, because is Pretty Is by Maggie Mitchell. I've never read anything by her before. The story follows two girls. Two women. They were kidnapped when they were 12, and they were both, I guess, held together. And so then it fast forwards 20 years later. One is a really famous actress, and the other one is a renowned writer. And so their paths cross again when, I guess, the writer is writing a movie or a script, and the actress girl is now going to be playing the part. Not too sure. I probably summarized that a little crappy, but that's basically what it follows. I don't know why stories like this sort of they scare the shit out of me. Let me just let y'all know this one thing. don't kidnap me. Let my ass stay where you found me. Finders, leavers, okay? Don't take my ass nowhere. That is like one of my worst fears ever, is do not kidnap me, because let me tell you, you're gonna want to bring my ass back, because I'm not having that shit. You need to just leave me where I'm at. I'm good. Thank you. Enough for that little bit of crazy. The next book I got, I had actually seen this at the Wall of Books bookstore, but I decided not to get it. I don't know why. I just was like, I have enough books and I'm not trying to do too much. But I saw it at the library book sale for $1, and I was like, I think this is fate. I think I need to get this book. Is Little Bee by Chris Cleave. I haven't heard of this author before. I haven't heard of this book. And the synopsis doesn't give you much. It literally says, we don't want to tell you what happens in this book. This is a story of two women. Their lives collide one fateful day, and one of them has to make a terrible choice. The kind of choice we hope you never have to face. 2 years later, they meet again. The story starts there. Once you have read it, you will want to tell your friends about it. When you do, please don't tell them what happens. The magic is how the story unfolds. The next book was actually like a nostalgic buy. I believe I read this story back in like middle school, so I was like 12 or 13. But at first I recognized the cover and I was like, I've seen this before. And then when I read the synopsis, I was like, I have read this before. So it is Indian Captive, the story of Mary Jemison by Louis Linsky. But anyway, I read this because, okay, I am half Piscataway Kanoe Native American. And so growing up, I've always taken an interest in reading about or reading authors of Native descent. So when I saw this story about this young girl, I was like, okay, she doesn't look like a Native. But then I read the summary on the back, and basically she's a white girl. I think she's a settler. I'm not sure. Her family's out west, and her entire family is kidnapped by neighboring tribes, and they're split up and divided in the tribes. So basically the premise is, when cowboys and natives and the cavalry used to go at war with each other, they would have casualties. So if the chief lost a daughter and he wants vengeance for that, he wants to be reconciled with it, they'll go raid a nearby town and he'll take a young girl to not fill in, but to take that role of his daughter. It sort of gave a different viewpoint of why it was if someone was to be kidnapped. I'm not saying that those things didn't happen to white people out west, but it was nice to see Native Americans painted more in a human light rather than just fighters, maulers, and minglers, and just irrational people. So the next book, I had actually been seeing this book around a lot. It was mostly on Amazon. When you have like those little things and they give you suggestions based upon like the books that you looked at or the books that you bought before. So this book I had been seeing a lot, and I was like, I don't know, like I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard anybody haul it, so I'm not sure, but I saw it at the library book haul. It's in really good condition, so I was like, let me go ahead and get it. It's The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. I tried to say her name right, but it's a national bestseller, winner of the Booker Prize. I don't really know what it's about. Hold on, let me remember. I think I read the synopsis on Amazon. I think it's about like these two twins, and then their cousin moves in, and their cousin's like really pretty or something like that. And there's just like a lot of beef going on between the family, something like that on Amazon. So I think Amazon has a synopsis of this book, but I was really excited to pick it up, of course. Reading diverse, that's me. Next book, I was actually too hyped to get. I had been seeing a lot of booktubers hauls or reviews about this book, and how amazing it was and how great the author was. And I wanted to get it, but then I like checked online and like the paperback was like $15. I'm like, honey, not for no paperback. I can't. And I didn't even look at the hardback price because I'm just like, that's too much. So when I saw this book in hardback for $1 at the library sale, I was like, I gotta do it. It is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. This story follows a little boy. His dad died in September 11th, and it just follows his process through getting through that. I remember when 9/11 happened, I was in 5th grade, and you know, I didn't know anyone really affected by it, but I did have an uncle who was working in the Pentagon at the time, and so I remember just that feeling of anxiety. And so sort of reading a book like this from a perspective of a young boy, I think will like take me back. I'm really excited to have this book in hardcover for $1. I wasn't sure if I was going to include this in the haul, but because I didn't actually buy it and it's not actually mine, but it's something that I got recently, so yeah. It is Persepolis. It's by Marjane Satrapi. Basically, this is given to me by one of the English teachers at the school that I intern at. Be friends with the English teachers, y'all. They be hooking you up. That its own voices. I know that I think it's a memoir, if not, but I do know it's a graphic novel, and so that's what intrigued me the most, and I asked her if I could borrow it. So I've never read a graphic novel before. People say that they're great, depending on the book, so I decided to switch it up a little bit, you know, get a little bit more variety in my books. So I'm actually going to try and read this soon so I can give it back, so that way she's not like hounding me down when I come to school, and I don't want to lose it or jack it up. So I'm going to make sure that I read this as soon as possible and return it to her. But I'm really excited to read that. So that is all I have for today. That is my library / thrift haul. I only spent a total of like $19 on like 12 books. So I'm excited about it. Hopefully I can keep this up and keep my spending low, because yeah, books be getting expensive and stuff. But alright guys, check me out later. I should have something for you guys soon. And yeah, peace, love, and happy reading.